Just a reminder that this summary sheet is available on my website for lesson 1. I strongly suggest you download it so that you can check pronunciation every time you come across new vocabulary. Something that you may want to be aware of when speaking to French people, especially when you meet them for the first time, is the difference between tu and vous. Vous, tu and vous. So tu and vous both mean you. Okay, tu is used for one person and is informal, and vous is used for one person and is formal. It can also be used for several people, but here we're focusing on one person. So they both mean you. Tu means it's informal, vous means it's formal. So what we say is that you may use the tutoiement, saying tu, or the vouvoiement when you saying vous. So why do we have two different ones? So the rule of thumb is that formal situation require the vouvoiement. For example, if you are talking to your boss or someone you're meeting for the first time, it's usually the vouvoiement that we use. Whereas the tutoiement is used when communicating with people you have a personal relationship, someone you've known for a long time, a friend. To summarize, I would say that vous is used for formal situation as a sign of respect, of deference, and tu is used for people you know very well. Normally we start communicating with a vous form, and then there's an agreement, and when you get to know someone well enough, you end up switching to the tu form. You will also find that some people will encourage you to say tu from the start. Some people don't like the formality of the vous form, so they'll encourage you, they'll say something insisting on you using the tu form. But on the other hand, I would not recommend to use the tu form as at a formal business meeting. But again, it might depend. It could be that you have a particular relationship with some of the people at that meeting. It could be that there's an agreement that in that organization they use the tu form. It very much depends. I would say that if you meet someone for the first time and you don't know them well, you feel that there's a certain distance and you need to keep that sort of respectful distance. So the vous is more appropriate. The switch from tu or vous happens naturally, and it's one of those things that you have to feel, and it is very much depending on relationships with the people you talk to. So what I've done, I've tried to summarize the options or the uses of tu and vous in this table. By the way, this is going to be available for you to download on my website in the summary sheet for lesson 2. So this table is a brief overview of the uses of the tu form of address. So a teen or young adult to another teen or young adult would normally use tu. A family member to another family member would use tu, except for in-laws. Maybe your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, initially you might want to use vous as a form of polite distance, but it's likely they will encourage you to use the tu form in the end. Again, it depends on the context. A friend to a friend would use tu. Employees or boss or employee to another employee or boss, etc. The sort of world of work, you would use vous. A colleague to another colleague would use vous, but then probably eventually use tu as more friendly or close relationship form. An adult to a child would use tu. A child to an adult should use vous, although it's not always the case, but it usually is the case. Now, an adult, so that would be you, in a supermarket or at the baker's. Okay, if you're talking to a stranger or someone you call in the street to find your way, etc., you would use vous in most cases, unless they were children or very, very young teenagers. You would use the vous form. New business contact to a new business contact, normally vous, and online participant, normally tu, but it depends on the forum or the sort of chat room that you're using. If it's a business forum, you might want to use vous. If it's a games chat room or forum, usually tu. So it's an overview. You might want to experience that when you're in France or in a French-speaking country, but that's giving you a few guidelines. Écoutez et répétez. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Salut. Salut. Enchanté. Au revoir. À bientôt. À tout à l'heure. Bon voyage. Bonne route. So let's have a look at those greetings again. There are more, obviously, but I've limited myself to the most common ones. There are plenty more that you will pick up on the way. First one, bonjour, can mean good morning or hello, usually for the best part of the day, before the evening, before 6, 7 o'clock, you would say bonjour. Bonsoir for good evening. One I didn't include is also bonne nuit, good night. Salut. Salut is interesting because you use it to say hi. Very informal, very familiar. Salut, hi. But you also use it to say goodbye. Bye. So it means both. Useful to know. Salut. Enchanté when you meet someone for the first time. Pleased to meet you. Au revoir. Note that there are two words, but it sounds like one word. Au revoir. À bientôt. When you see someone in the near future, next few weeks perhaps. À tout à l'heure. When you're going to see someone very soon. Probably you meet them in the morning and you're going to see them in the afternoon again. À tout de suite is probably when you're going to see someone in the next few minutes. Let's imagine you've been on the phone, you are going to meet someone very, very shortly. You arrange to meet on the phone and you meet them literally in a few minutes. Bon voyage, to wish someone to have a good journey or a safe journey, usually by plane, boat, etc. By car as well. But more specifically for car, you say bonne route, have a safe car journey. Asking how people are and saying how you are. Now there are variations of different phrases and questions and answers that you can use. I've given you some of the main ones so you can start communicating straight away with those. So first, asking how people are. First one, comment vas-tu? Informal, you notice that there's tu, meaning informal. Comment vas-tu? Comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? That's the equivalent, but in the formal way. Comment allez-vous? You notice you've got the vous, which signifies formality. Comment ça va is neither formal or informal. Comment ça va again means how are you, and you can use it in both cases. Comment ça va? And then simpler, ça va, which means how are you, but it also means are you okay? If you notice someone or you inquire about someone's well-being, you might ask them if they are okay, and then you would use ça va, ça va. Now for the responses. On positive responses, the first one that you will probably use is ça va bien, or you might just say bien. The ça va can be omitted as long as you answer the question. Bien, ça va bien. Oui, bien. Oui, ça va bien. Or oui, ça va très bien when you're feeling great or very well. Ça va très bien, ça va très bien. Or you might want to use super, great. Ça va? Super. Simple answer. You don't even need a verb or anything. Super. You've communicated the answer, and that's all you have to do, really. What you might want to do is add merci at the end. So, for example, ça va bien, merci. Or ça va très bien, merci. Super, merci. And then you might want to return the question. Et vous? Et toi? Et vous being the formal way and et toi being the informal way. So I'll give you an example. Ça va bien, merci. Et vous? Or ça va très bien, merci. Et toi? Now for the middle sort of answers, when you're not great but you're not bad. Okay, so we've got the first one, which is a very common one, bof. Ça va? Bof. That means so-and-so. So-so. I'm neither good nor bad. Bof. Ça peut aller. Not too bad. Okay. Also means so-so, not too bad, etc. Pas mal, or ça va pas mal. Not bad. I'm okay. And then for the instances when you don't feel so good. Pas terrible. And you're going to say non, pas terrible. So example, ça va? Non, pas terrible. Or pas terrible. Comment ça va? Pas terrible. Pas trop is another alternative. Alternative, not great. Ça va? Pas trop, not great. Or pas du tout. Pas du tout, not great at all. Ça va? Non, pas du tout. Non, pas du tout. Again, communicate with intonation. Obviously, if you give a positive answer, it's likely that your tone of voice will be more positive, and using the when you have a more negative answer, of course your tone will go with it, and that's also a very important part of communication and learning languages. Intonation is very important too. So that's the overview, and now let's move to the next bit. So here I'm just going to give you some polite phrases that might be useful. I'm not going to comment on them, I'm just going to pronounce them, and try to pronounce them with me or after me and memorize their spelling and their pronunciation. Monsieur, Monsieur, Madame, Madame, Mademoiselle, Mademoiselle, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît, s'il te plaît, merci, merci, merci bien, merci bien, merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup, de rien, de rien, Je vous en prie. Je vous en prie. Je t'en prie. Je t'en prie. Il n'y a pas de quoi. Il n'y a pas de quoi. Pardon. Pardon. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi de vous déranger. Excusez-moi de vous déranger. Je suis désolée. Je suis désolée. Santé. Santé. Bon appétit. Bon appétit. À vos souhaits. À vos souhaits. À tes souhaits. À tes souhaits. For the first task, I will show you a picture. I'll give you 3 seconds and I want you to imagine or come up with what you need to say in French. So there will be a speech bubble. Think about what you would say in that situation. Bonjour. Note that bonjour literally means good day. Now, if you want to wish someone a good day, you should say bonne journée. Have a nice day. Bonne journée. Another one that's useful to know is bonne nuit. Bonne nuit. Good night. Night night. Bonne nuit. Next. Salut. Santé. À tout de suite. À tout à l'heure. À bientôt. Bonne route. Au revoir. Bon appétit. À tes souhaits. For this task, listen to the French phrases. You will have 3 seconds to identify the correct English translation from the list. Simply jot down the correct letter and we will check at the end. So, c'est parti. Let's go. Number 1. Y a pas de quoi. Y a pas de quoi. Number 2. Merci, monsieur. Merci, monsieur. Number 3. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Number 4. S'il vous plaît, madame. S'il vous plaît, madame. Number 5. Je vous en prie, monsieur. Je vous en prie, monsieur. Number 6. Ça va très bien, merci. Et vous? Ça va très bien, merci. Et vous? Number 7. Pardon, madame. Pardon, madame. Number 8. Merci bien. Merci bien. Number 9. Ça va, mademoiselle? Ça va, mademoiselle? Number 10. Excusez-moi de vous déranger. Excusez-moi de vous déranger. On vérifie les réponses. We check the answers. Number 1. H. Number 2. B. Number 3. G. Number 4. E. Number 5. J. Number 6. C. Number 7. F. Number 8. E. Number 9. A. And number 10. D. Check your score. If you got 10 out of 10, that's fantastic. Well done. Super, you've completed lesson 2. What I would suggest you do as a follow-up is to continue to memorize and practice what we've learned in this lesson. You could also watch videos on greetings and polite phrases. There are plenty out there. And the point is to try to identify what you have learned in this lesson. All is left for me to say now is au revoir et à bientôt for lesson number 3.